Sharing is caring, so I want to share with you guys my top 10 healthy habits. I feel like it's dramatic to say change my life, but it's changed my life. I'm a different person. Because I look back and I think, wow, you've changed. In a good way. And it's changed me like physically, mentally, but also relationshiply. I'm a scientist, okay? I'm not good at English, but I'm gonna go with that and I think you guys will understand. So relationshiply, I just feel like I have better relationships with my family, with Mario, with my friends, just because some of these tips are deep. I don't apply them every single day, but they're just habits that when I am doing them, they make me like a completely different person. We'll get straight into it. If you like it, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell, and we'll get straight into it. This is the first tip and it's probably my absolute favorite tip. It's gonna look weird. You guys are gonna laugh, but that's a good thing. This habit is called pattern interrupt. So it's a technique that people use, literally just shock you out of any kind of tunnel vision, any kind of repeated thoughts. It's called pattern interrupt. You're in a pattern of thinking negative thoughts usually. You just wanna stay in a bad mood. I get it sometimes when I'm really stressed, like public speaking. Once I've got that tunnel vision, it's really hard to get out of it, right? This is gonna get you out. So it's 2 steps. The first one is just a complete break from anything you would do in normal life. The best place to do it is usually somewhere where you're not gonna feel embarrassed about doing it, but it has to be something like wildly physical that just is just so absurd. The more absurd, the better. Try it, but find your own, like find something that makes you laugh as much as that does for me. So you do that for 30 seconds to a minute, and then for another 30 seconds, you just use all 5 of your senses. You just make sure that you're very, very aware of your surroundings, and then I promise you, you will feel completely different. The difficult part is actually making myself do it, because when I'm in that kind of thought process and I'm thinking negative thoughts and I'm just so caught up, this is the last thing I want to do is pattern interrupt. But once I did it, I genuinely felt like a different person. Okay, the next one is watch your posture.
Shoulders back, chest high, feet apart, head up, and strut. And work it.
I feel like it makes a massive difference for a few reasons. The first is the obvious one, which is it prevents any kind of chronic back pain. If you just stand up straight, that makes you feel more confident and it makes me aware of my surroundings a little bit more. The looking up process is also super helpful because it helps you live in the moment. What I used to do is always look down, and it always, I don't know, I always used to have like negative thoughts. I always kind of, those thoughts were just always going through my head and I wasn't ever living in the moment. So looking up just really helped me like live in the moment and notice the small things. It made me feel really happy. Okay, this tip is super helpful because I feel like if you want to be healthy, nutrition also has to be like quite nutrient dense. When I go shopping, I always make sure to buy lots and lots of nutrient dense foods like fruit and veg and then whole grains and stuff like that. Obviously, I mean, I have my treats up here, which, you know, I put them up there to increase my flexibility. But yeah, I also have my treats too. I also make sure that most of my meals come from whole foods and fruit and veg. So my habit is always to make nutrient dense snacks that actually taste really good and exciting as well. Whenever I'm gonna make it, I make more than I need. If I do make something, I'll try and make like double or triple. So at the moment, I'm making like a fruit bowl with yogurt and I don't know, a big jumble of things that I just really fancy at the moment. I'm gonna make twice as much so that tomorrow when I'm hungry and I wanna have something for dessert or a snack, then I'll have that and it's just like really quick and accessible. Because if I don't have that, then I'll just grab the easiest thing and I'll just grab it and I'll eat that and it might not necessarily be exactly what I want. Leftovers are just the easiest thing. Also, things taste better cold. Like pasta, cold, different league, a different league. Oh, I might as well finish it now. Okay, so this one is to eat now, and then the other one I'm gonna put in the fridge. And my next habit is that when I'm eating, I spend 100% of my energy like eating. And I know that sounds really weird, and obviously if there are people around, I'm not just gonna ignore them and be like, I'm eating. But the thing is, when you spend time eating rather than just watching TV and eating or reading something and eating, then you can listen to your hunger signals. I feel like I've got really good at this because of this habit. and I can listen to when I'm satisfied or when I want some more. And previously, if I was distracted, I would miss those signals just because I was distracted. Usually I find myself being so busy that a food break is a break. So it's a break where I just think about food, think about things in life, and eat and enjoy it, and then I can get back to work. Because in the past I've worked and eaten. I just feel like I can listen to my body a lot better when I can just take the time to eat. Also, something that happened to me is that I was eating this meal that I love. My mum makes this really nice linguine meatballs. They're so nice, they're amazing. But I was so distracted because I also decided to work whilst I was eating them. She makes this every 2 years. I don't think I've had it for over 3 years now, actually. So it's a rare occasion and they taste amazing. And yeah, basically I just ate away and didn't even realize that it happened. This was really sad. So just don't waste away the amazing linguine. But also by experiencing food, I feel way more satisfied from it. That's kind of like the underlying thing here, is just living a little bit more in the moment and just enjoying things as they are. Next habit is something I do every single day just before dinner. For about 20 minutes, I just have a self-development time where I'm just kind of reading a self-help book or listening to podcasts or watching a motivational speech. And that's really, really helped me, especially just kind of opening my mind. Mario is probably the smartest person I've ever met. And I used to be like, how's this motherfucker so smart? Why does he know so much more than me? I kind of went through a period where I felt really disappointed in myself, and then I noticed something that he kept doing. He was always learning something new. He was always listening to podcasts, always listening to YouTube videos, always listening to new ideas. Basically, what I try and do now is copy Mario. And so reading books can be super, super helpful. These are some of like my favorite self-improvement books, but there's an app called Blinkist and they've sponsored this video. And what they do is they basically condense loads and loads of non-fiction books, self-help books, books for health, books for business in 15 minutes. You can either listen to it as a podcast or you can read it. And it's got all of these books on here as well. The next one that I'm about to read is The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. I actually saw a YouTube video of her. She was being interviewed and she talked about the 5-second rule. Now I can actually read the book that I watched her interview about. What I like about the app is that they summarize the books really well. You know, sometimes you get a friend to be like, oh, you've read it, tell me what it's about. They tell you and then you're like, what? Is that what happened? So you pay for a year, but if you go through the link in the description box, then the first 100 people will get free access for a week and 25% off like the full yearly subscription. For me, it beats buying all of those books and going through them because I know that I wouldn't have the time to do it. This habit is stretching for like 10 minutes whilst I'm watching TV. I just feel like it's a nice way to use dead time. Like a little bit of flexibility never hurt nobody. It definitely helps with mobility and makes me feel like more flexible and agile and helps me with different things. I had like a goal to get the splits last year. Obviously I'm lacking a bit of practice because that really hurt. But I just feel like really stretchy and flowy and ready for anything. And I like being flexible because it definitely helps with any kind of performance. Especially when I do weightlifting, I feel like I get really tight. You never know when you might need to go into the splits. It just makes me feel really good, and I feel good when I'm training as well, and I feel supple. I feel a lot more fluid. So this one is really difficult, and I'm still kind of learning my way through it, but it's literally made such a big difference. So every time a situation happens and it hasn't gone that well, I always take a little moment to just stop and think and assess the situation and be like, okay, what did I do wrong? Because in the past I always used to be like, this wasn't my fault, this was someone else's fault, and I always used to victimize myself, and I just felt like I was a passenger, like I wasn't in control of the situation. So now when a situation happens, like, I don't know, I want to say shit my pants, but that would genuinely be my fault and no one else's. Can you help me think of a situation? So when something bad happens, I stop, I think, and I think about how I could have made that situation different. So I try and take more responsibility. Before in the past, I was used to just shift the blame. And sometimes it kind of hurts your pride. Like you don't want it to be you, and I've been in that situation where I'm kind of embarrassed that it's my fault, but I just have to suck it up and be like, no, that was me. That was me. I also feel like since I've done that, people kind of respect you a little bit more because they're like, oh, okay, she's not too proud, like she can take responsibility, and it kind of makes other people do the same. My next habit is to get rid of my phone whenever I'm having conversation. Basically whenever I'm doing any task involving like connection with someone, because even now, even the fact that the screen is turned on is distracting me. So I always get rid of my phone. Wow, I just chucked that really violently. So I always get rid of my phone so that I can actually like engage with whoever I'm talking to and get to know them and feel closer to them. And I love, I mean, I've mentioned this before, I love talking, I love meetups, I love chatting to people, I love getting to know people. And I feel like when I have my phone with me, like I just suck. I suck at conversation. It also makes me so much more of a happier person when I'm actually connecting with someone. Like, this is Sarah, she's 23. She loves brownies, but only the top of the brownie, you know, when it's like crispy at the top and then gooey. She doesn't like the gooey bit, she only likes the crispy bit. But yeah, it's just become a habit. Like as soon as someone talks to me, I'll always put my phone away just because it makes me feel really happy. This makes me sound like I have no friends. My next habit is cleaning myself of the day. Not that my day is ever like dirty. Removing any chores that can drag on to the next day is super helpful. So I always like just tidying up my apartment and just having a shower to help me get ready before bed. It helps lower the core temperature of my body. So our body's like kind of cool just before we go to sleep. I struggle to just like chill out. So yeah, I feel like since I've made it a habit to shower every night before bed, the quality of my sleep has got so much better. Good quality sleep, good quality day. It just feels good all around. Done. Okay, so another habit that has literally changed my entire life, and actually, but just like day to day, has been getting enough sleep. I always used to think I could go without sleep, but 8 hours a day is optimal, and I just feel like when I do that, I can train, I'm not grumpy, I'm not forgetful, I'm more productive, and I feel like going to sleep, making a habit of going to sleep earlier has just massively transformed me and has also helped me like not feel so down. Ever since I started getting more sleep, I feel more on it, you know, like I feel like I can actually do stuff, whereas before I couldn't be bothered. Like I would look at things and be like, nah, I'm not going to do that. And I think it's one of those things that we really underestimate. Even people who like struggle to lose fat, sleep could really help them, because with lack of sleep, you don't feel as satisfied and you feel hungrier all the time. So it causes you to eat more than you probably need. It's not something I worry about so much. It's just for me, I just feel better. Like I feel more focused and I feel more relaxed and I feel like I have more energy. So yeah. Sleep is a big one. Alright guys, so that's the end of today's video. These habits have literally changed my life, like, but in a good way, you know? Like, I look back, I think I was that person, I just needed to unlock it. And those habits really helped me kind of unlock what I felt like I knew I could be. I hope they help some of you. Again, like, don't do them all at once. Like, just pick which one you think might help you best. But yeah, these ones definitely helped me be healthier mentally and physically. The next video is going to be in Sydney. I'm flying out tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie, I am a nervous flyer. So I'm gonna be using Pattern Interrupt tomorrow. Please give me a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more, and I will see you guys in Sydney, where I get to practice my Australian accent. I don't think that's a very good one, but I don't know. Maybe you Aussies can tell me. It's probably awful. Okay. See you later, alligator. Oh no, that's just awful.